Hey guys, Youngblood with you, and what I wanted to do today as we're going through these 2.6 releases is actually going to be review the Drake Herald with you. Now, this is just another ship that shows CIG's ability and capability of actually putting together high detail-oriented ships, because this thing looks great. And for those of you that aren't familiar with this, it's kind of the ugly duckling of Star Citizen. It's a dedicated info runner ship, purpose-built to be able to take care of your business, stealing information, running information, and doing all things data-related. Now, there's a couple things on this ship that I was actually surprised about, and we're going to go ahead and just kind of take a look at it in hangar, and then we'll do some flight impressions on it. But the first thing that caught my eye was the weaponry. I was expecting this thing to be pretty low on the weaponry overall, and it's got a size 3 mount on the wing. And then I saw a size 3 mount on the nose, and was thinking, oh, okay, well, this thing's got better weaponry than I would have expected. And then come over to this side to find another size 3 weapon. So if you want to go fixed, you could go tarantulas, you could go, panthers, and all of a sudden this ship that's known to be incredibly fast now actually packs a pretty good punch, making it a really intriguing option. And then it doesn't stop there. You actually have 16 like rockets or missile locations here, where you have 8 task force on this side, and then on the other side of the ship, you've actually got 8 more. Now, whether you're going to want to stick with missiles or go to rockets, or I think on a ship like this, you're probably going to be best suited to actually having something more like data spike missiles, so you can, facilitate doing electronic warfare. But you do have the capability to do some additional things. And while they are size 1s, having 16 of them is pretty impressive. Now, kind of getting back to what we knew this ship was going to be, and it was going to be fast, I mean, look at these engines. I mean, that thing looks like a Saturn V rocket. It is ridiculous in a really, really fun way. Now, there's some other things that are on here that are pretty intriguing, and we look at this and see data pod 1 through 4 manual release, meaning that you're not necessarily going to have to transmit information. At least that's what I assume from looking at this. What this says to me is you can land, actually detach these and sell these for goods, just buy new ones and start fresh. So it might be faster, it might be a more secure way. Basically, you can hack the data, store it on a physicalized hard drive, or whatever the future term of it is going to be, and then you can end up giving that to somebody else, to where nobody else can steal it without physically getting their hands on it. And there's not just these 4, there's an additional 4 on the other side. Here. So to me, this is pretty cool, and I think that opens up different types of gameplay that are going to be available to you. Everything on the outside of this ship is very industrial, and it's purpose-built to let you do access. So like here, it looks like a pretty clear panel for you to be able to, access your avionics or your systems, and maybe do some overclocking, maybe access your data, but it's all there. So let's go ahead and jump up in the ship and take a look. Okay. So once you actually get in the ship, it is very cramped. It is close quarters. It is very industrialized, but it's very much matching what we expected it to be. You've got server racks on the left-hand side. You've got server racks on the right-hand side. You've actually got a weapons rack, which I was surprised to see, but I kind of enjoy. Looks like you have some interior cooling here for your server racks, as well as some of the wiring running around, connecting different components that you're using. You've got storage here, so as far as, maybe you can carry additional ones of those hard drives so you can carry more data. Perhaps this is actually just going to be for food or water, grenades, whatever you need it to be. In the back, you actually have the little living quarters where you have a toilet, you have a sink, and you have a bed. Now, what this means to me is I think this is suggesting that the ship may end up having better range than we might have expected it to. Now, that hasn't been confirmed to what I've seen, but I think the overall trend has been ships that don't have long range don't have beds. It's kind of an overarching theme. So this might just be a concept or a design that they wanted to put in place, or it could be indicative of range. Here we actually have your seat for if you're going to be manning your system. So this could be a secondary person in your craft. This could be if you just park your ship and you're running the systems. But I think this is really going to be your hub for gathering and stealing the data, or transmitting, or doing whatever you're wanting to do with the information. But you can see you've got several screens here. You've got lots of controls, a couple big red lights and indicators. So I think this thing's going to light up like Christmas when you're actually doing things, and you're going to be able to control it via the screen. So let's go ahead and get out of the seat and head up to the pilot's area, where again you've got more storage. You've got some more panels. It looks like you've got some thermal insulation there, which is kind of interesting. It's very Drake. Most other ships would have had that kind of blocked off. So let's go ahead and jump in the seat, and you're going to see that this ship has surprisingly good visibility. Out the sides, up top, off to the right, and if the if the cockpit here is any way indicative of what we may see with something like the Buccaneer, your visibility is pretty good. It's a little Hornet-esque. It's a little Cutlass-esque as well. It does have some bars that are in the way, but not terrible. Your field of view is pretty much unobstructed. And you've kind of got the standardized control scheme that you actually have on the Cutlass. It's just basically got the same design theme overall. So that's the look of the ship in the hangar. Very, very cool. We're going to go ahead and take this thing out for a spin, and we'll kind of talk through some of the numbers and how it actually performs. So the Herald's a really interesting ship in flight, and before we get too far into this, I think it's important to remember that the speeds have changed as part of 2.6. So the speeds that I'm about to list may sound slow, but in comparison to other ships, it's actually pretty fast. The Herald flies at 185 in SCM and can boost all the way up to 1,000 very quickly, which is a hell of a lot of fun to do. And it's a really good indicator of this thing being able to pull away and get out of trouble pretty quickly, especially with the new boost to cruise mechanics. But while the ship is fast, she is far from maneuverable. It's not as noticeable out in the persistent universe where there aren't as many obstacles around and the opponents tend to be a little bit further away and more spread out. But in Arena Commander, you're bunched up and turning to engage is very challenging. Auroras even appear to be equally, if not more, maneuverable, so you need to use your boost and kind of plan your attacks really well. The durability of this ship is pretty poor as well. It's only got a size 1 power plant that's powering everything on board, and the shields do go down very quickly. All of that I think is probably fine when you consider that the ship isn't really meant to be a combat ship, so using advanced scanners and your speed are really going to be your keys to success in the persistent universe, as well as having other factors on your side like being able to utilize electronic warfare. Overall, I really like the way this ship turned out, and I feel it's in a really good place at the moment too. So if you have questions about the Herald, please let me know. Otherwise, stay tuned for a whole lot more content coming soon. I'll catch you guys later. Take care.